Now, the Shinde camp chief whip Bharat Gogawale has now given an application to the Speaker Rahul Narvekar regarding them being considered as their whip. Now, it says that their original Shiv Sena party, the application also mentions disqualification of the rest of the 16 MLAs, those supporting Uddhav Thackeray. Let me go across to Alisha. She's on the phone line. Alisha, give us more details of this application that's been submitted to the Speaker.
Well, of course, yesterday, while the Assembly had clearly appointed Bharat Gogawale as the Chief Whip and Eknath Shinde as the leader of Shiv Sena Legislative Assembly, right after that, Shinde camp Chief Whip, that is Bharat Gogawale, has given an application to Speaker Rahul Narvekar regarding considering their whip. We know yesterday when there were 16 Shiv Sena MLA who have voted for Mahavikas Aghadi candidate, that is Rajan Salvi. But right after that, there was a letter that was given, and clearly they wanted to file a petition against the disqualification. So now the letter has already been given to Speaker Rahul Narvekar, clearly stating that they are original Shiv Sena party, and the application that mentions to disqualify rest of the 16 MLAs, those supported Uddhav Thackeray. So yes, it's a big update that has been coming in from Eknath Shinde, that right after Eknath Shinde has been appointed as the Shiv Sena Legislative Assembly leader, and Bharat Gogawale as a Chief Whip of Shiv Sena. Now he has already given an application to Speaker Rahul Narvekar, considering their application to disqualify the 16 MLAs who supported Mahavikas Aghadi candidate.
All right, let's also go across quickly to Shivangi, who's reporting from outside Matoshri. Shivangi, I just wanted to ask you about the rest of the Shiv Sena MLAs who are in the Uddhav Thackeray camp. What are you hearing? Are they going to be voting today, and how are they going to be voting? Because the newly appointed Chief Whip says that they have to be present and vote in favor of the government. So what are you hearing?
Right. Well, this is something that we had known earlier, that they would want the MLAs from the Uddhav camp to be disqualified. Now you're seeing before that the disqualification game is being played from both the sides right now. So right now, like I said, the Chief Whip, like we just said, has said that they want those MLAs to be disqualified. But if you look at it from the Uddhav camp, they've approached a top court on this as well. So as of now, it's a war of words. In a sense, it's a war of words when it comes to disqualification. Now, calling themselves the real Shiv Sena, that's also very interesting. Like what Alisha told us, that is very interesting, because who is the real Shiv Sena? That's the big question. There are two factions right now. Both of them want the other MLAs to be disqualified because it gives them advantage in the floor test. But right now, legally, nothing can be done as of now. We have to wait and watch how this really plays out when that vote of confidence happens later.
Well, absolutely. That question of who the real Shiv Sena is likely to go down to the wire. There's the court involved, and perhaps there'll be the election commission as well. Let me go across quickly to Piyush Ori now. Piyush, the NCP, of course, is already beginning to ask its MLAs to go back to their constituencies. Mr. Pawar yesterday said that I don't think this government is going to last very long. I want everybody back in their constituencies. So in that sense, he is setting afoot a feeling of insecurity right ahead of the floor test.
Well, definitely, before I come to you, I would just like you to, I would just ask my cameraman to just show the fingers over here. The MLAs have now begun to board the bus to go to Vidhan Bhavan. And yes, it is very important, as you said, that, this is the first test of Eknath Shinde camp, wherein to pass the floor test and from there on, begin the important process of governance. Sharad Pawar, through his political wizardry, knows that this is a government that has not been formed through normal circumstances, and he understands that if all does not go well, they still do have a chance of forming the government. And taking this into consideration, he has told his MLAs to go into his constituencies and start connecting directly with the people, because they realize that if this government does not govern now, the real test of this government is going to begin now, in terms of governance. And yes, if it does not deliver, there is likelihood of NCP forming the government. The first test of this government is going to begin with the floor test, and secondly, then after that, there is going to be an important meeting which is going to be held in Devendra Fadnavis's official bungalow of Sagar, where there is going to be a discussion of allocation of portfolio. Mind you, BJP to begin with was not a part of this government and had said that they're going to support this government from outside. And it was only after the intervention of, BJP President JP Nadda that BJP became a part of this government. BJP being the single largest party would definitely want that they MLAs be given important portfolios. But then the rebel MLAs of Shiv Sena would also want that they be given important portfolios. So yes, all this is going to be taken into consideration. Will there be differences? Will there be differences? It's all going to be seen in the days to come. So right now, what I'm showing you is that the MLAs are boarding bus. They are going to go to Vidhan Bhavan. With the second most important test for them is going to start with passing the floor test, which according to Eknath Shinde camp say is just a formality. Back to you in the studio.
Absolutely, Piyush. We're going to stay with you now. We are, of course, seeing in these pictures that the MLAs are boarding that bus and perhaps going to the Vidhan Bhavan directly. But after that, what are you hearing in terms of what are their expectations in terms of portfolios?
Expectation is there has been a lot of meetings which are being held not only right now in which is going to be held not only in Devendra Fadnavis's house today, but there has also been a lot of meetings that have been held in Taj President, where I'm reporting from, and also in hotels where these MLAs were boarded in Goa and in Guwahati. So yes, there have been a hectic set of negotiations. And it is going to be very interesting now for us to watch that, based on the meeting where, senior BJP Minister Piyush Goyal is going to be present, what